Everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today, we're going to be talking about selling to Sephora. So if you have a great consumer product that you think should be sold at Sephora, this little training will give you some things to think about in regards to Sephora. With that said, let's get started on today's training. Let's talk about Sephora stores. So let's just say that Sephora is most cosmetics brands' dream retailer, right? So if you have a hair product that you're trying to sell, or a cosmetic product, it's probably your top dream retailer. It's very common that people love that retailer if you have makeup or whatever it is that you're trying to sell. The tricky part about selling to Sephora, and fragrance, the tricky part about selling to Sephora is that they have a lot of major brands. And so the brands that they do put in have a ton of products, right? So if you ever go to their stores, usually if it's say makeup, they have a whole set of differing products that they sell for that particular brand. The reason I mention that is because if you have a one-off, very difficult for you to sell to them. You can private label your product and sell to Sephora. Have you noticed in their little area, they have a ton of products that are like generic brands that doesn't have a name on them. Those are what we call private label a lot of the times, where Sephora buys from a company like you and then has you place your product in their packaging. So brushes and all sorts of things usually is an option for you. So again, if you are trying to sell your brand to them, meaning your name's on the box, you're going to have to remember that they will probably be interested in, oh man, they will probably be interested in you having a whole selection of product. Or if you want to private label your product, a lot of times that is possible for you. You're just going to have to remember that it may not be in your brand, in your packaging, and so forth. So that's something to think about also. They usually know every single product on the planet in regards to cosmetics or whatever. And so it is a very complicated retailer to sell into, not because you can't get your product in there, it's because they have seen everything. And when a retailer is very niche and they've done pretty well for themselves, they can reject you all day long, every single day. My recommendation is if you go after Sephora, go for it. If they say no to you, please don't take it personally. It's just you picked one of the harder retailers to go after only because all of your competitors want to sell to them. And that's something to think about. However, my recommendation, when it's a very niche retailer like that, I would say go to other retailers that sell cosmetics or whatever it is that you're trying to sell and try to sell to them first. Once you get proof of sales, then you go to a retailer like Sephora. They're much more inclined to buy because you have proof of sales, proof of purchase, because Sephora is all about making money. And unfortunately, when they have a really rich niche retailer, it does make it more difficult for them to say yes to you, again, because everybody's calling them. So it doesn't mean that they don't have a bunch of new products that they're willing to test and so forth, but just don't feel bad if you do get rejected. And the recommendation is even go after, I don't know, retailers that you can go after Ulta, obviously, you can go after Macy's, all these different retailers, department stores, discount department stores. All of them sell cosmetics or whatever it is that you're selling. And you could reach out to them and then come back to Sephora once you have proof of sales. It's a much easier approach than just getting rejected, crying, feeling bad about yourself, and then not getting anywhere with that retailer because you think they don't like you. Actually, buyers change jobs all of the time with retailers, very frequently, 6 months to a year, they change positions. And so the buyer who's buying for your product may not be there anymore by the time you go back to Sephora. So don't worry about it. Even if they reject you, there's still an opportunity for you to sell to them. So those are some things to think about. Basically, it's a niche retailer. A lot of people are going after them. You either need to set up an entire product category, product line, really have proof of a brand. They do like diversity. If you are a diverse supplier, meaning you're a women-owned business, minority-owned business, get certified. That could help you get in the door faster. They're always looking for new brands that hit that diversity market, and they love certifications. Otherwise, definitely explore other retailers and then come back to Sephora if they ever reject you. If you want to learn how to actually reach out to Sephora, what words to say, how to pitch them, what to say to them to get them to buy. Even if you've never sold anything in your life, please take a look at the links below. That's all we do. We help people get their products into chain stores like Sephora. This is Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. I hope it helped, and be on the lookout for the next video we create. Please comment, like, subscribe, join us. We are always on the lookout for new people to support. Thanks so much.